You may have an instance where you have a single video file that has many different shots included in the file, but you like to have the different shots or scenes separated for more detailed editing, adding visual effects to the different scenes, or for color grading. And we've got a really cool feature in Resolve that can automatically detect the different scenes contained within the video file and cut them for us. This will save us a lot of time versus if we were to go ahead and bring the file into our project and then use the Blade Edit tool to manually perform the cuts. So here at the top in our media storage area, I've got a file that has a ton of different scenes or shots in that. If I double click on that to load that into the viewer, we could just use the jog bar and see there's a ton of different shots here. Now to have Resolve add the cuts automatically for us, we can right click on the file and then we have scene cut detection here in the center of the contextual menu. So let's go ahead and select that. And then at the bottom of this window, we have auto scene detect. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Once the processing is complete, we can see all of the different scenes that were detected here on the right-hand side of our scene detect window. And so these are all of the new clips that were created during that process. And it's important to note that these are new discrete files that have been created or will be created and not simply clips that reference the same file. And the importance of this will be apparent in just a minute. And at this point, we can click on the Add Cuts to Media pool to import the newly created scenes into our project. But we'll take a second now just to check out our Scene Detect window because there's a few important features here to be aware of. Now at the top of our window, we have some viewers, and below that is our graph. And again, in the bottom right, we have our cut list. Our cut list displays the scene number of the clip, the frame number, and the time code value. You can click on the labels up at the top to change the sort order. And we can click on the info button here to show or hide that list. The vertical green bars here within our graph represent scene cuts. And as I click within the cut list here, you can see that our playhead moves to intersect its corresponding green graph line. If we were to hover in our graph window, we can hold down Alt and then scrub through this. We also have a zoom control in the bottom right-hand corner here. The different heights of the graph lines represents the algorithm's confidence that this is in fact a scene cut. And we also have a horizontal magenta line that we can use to adjust how many of the cuts we'll keep based on the height or confidence of the algorithm. So if I were to raise this bar, then take note here within our cut list, we have 47 different scenes that were created. But if I were to raise this horizontal bar up, then that list is going to decrease because we are going to be removing some of these less confident cuts that the algorithm created. So now we only have 34. But I'm going to go ahead and pull this back down. And you can see as I move this up, the lower ones turn gray. These are not included. As I pull this back down, they turn green. And they're once again included in our cut list. And now we're at 48. Let's click on a cut here within our cut list and then take a look at our viewer here. Now we can see 3 separate images, and if we're positioned at the generated cut point as we just clicked on, the first image in the bottom left is the last frame of the outgoing clip, and the other 2 are the first and second frame of the incoming clip. Now, if I come to the playhead and just move this forward a few frames, then we can see that all 3 images are similar. So if you have a cut point like this, then you know it's not a good one, and you can click the delete button to remove that cut point. Now, we're not actually on a cut point because I moved this forward, but I wanted to make the point that if you're seeing similar images in all 3, then you'll probably want to go ahead and delete that cut point out. Let's go ahead and select at that cut point, let's say number 3. And then here we can see that we have a different image here, and then these are similar. Let's choose another one, say 6, scene 6, and we can see these are similar. This is different, that's good. We'll come down to scene 8. We've got similar for the center and right, and then the left is different. So this is another good cut. And it could be a good idea to go ahead and review these just to be sure, because the algorithm isn't perfect, and particularly at the lower height lines in the graph. If you have any fast panning or dissolves and transitions, these can confuse the algorithm. So that's important to keep in mind. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull our horizontal line down here to include this cluster of vertical lines here. And this is actually kind of a quick panning. I just am familiar with the footage. And so these are not actually accurate. And one way that we could remove these is by moving the line up. But if we want to kind of save some other lower ones, what we could also do is set our in and out markers to this area. And we can do that with click, hold, and dragging in that ruler up above. Or we could use the in, out point buttons here, or we could play back and use I and O on our QWERTY keyboard. But now that I have this range set, I can use the prune tool here, and then that's going to remove some of those out. Let's go ahead and move this line back up, and let's move our in-out points back to their default position. Now a quick workflow to double check the cuts that we created is to select the first scene. Let's come to our cut list, scroll to the top, select that first scene. And this is actually not a good cut because there's a fade in here, so it's confusing for the algorithm a bit. So for this, I'm just going to click on the delete to remove that out. And then now if I just drag with that playhead, we can see how that fades in, and it got a little confused there. But now let's click on the top cut again. We can then use the down arrow to move to each consecutive cut. And what we're looking for, as I mentioned earlier, is the first image should be different because that is the last frame of the outgoing cut. These two should be similar because they're the first two frames of our incoming cut. So this is good. We can then down arrow to the next. We've got different, same, same. That's good. Down. We've got different, and then similar, down, different, similar. That's good. So this would be the process to double check these before you import them into your project. So once you're satisfied with the cuts that have been made, we can click on the Add Cuts to Media Pool, and we're going to be asked if we want to change our project frame rate to match the frame rate of the footage that we've cut. Let's go ahead and change, and we can close out our window. And then here in our media pool, we can see all of the newly made cuts imported into our project. And let's hop over to the edit page. And within the media pool, I'm going to Control A to select all of those clips, and then click, hold, and drag to our timeline. Let's click on the full extent zoom, and we can see all of the different cuts that have been made to that initial video file. Now, one thing that I want to reiterate is that these are separate files that have been created. So if we were to, say, pull this file up to a new track, just create that automatically. If I hover at the edge and try to extend this out, I'm not able to. I can, of course, trim in, but we cannot extend that out. So these cuts that have been made are not the same as if we were to, say, position our playhead in this last clip that's pretty long, and I'm going to go ahead and make a cut here. Let's move forward and make a cut here. And then now if I pull this one up, we can extend this out because this clip is referring to the original file, and the entire length of it is what we can see with that white frame. Now, if you'd like to use the automatic scene detection feature and still be able to perform trims where you can extend the clips that are created out and have that flexibility, then you can use the scene detection feature here on the edit page. And in order to do that, we could select a clip and then come up to the timeline. And then here we have detect scene cuts. Now, just know that this is only available in the studio or the paid version of DaVinci Resolve. Unfortunately, I don't have that. So if I try to use this, then I just have this message saying that it's not available. I'll click on not yet. But I just want to mention that if we were to have brought in that initial video file into our edit page and then chose to perform the automatic scene detection from here, then you would have that ability to go ahead and trim out or in. And all of the cuts would refer to the one video file instead of discrete files being made for each cut as what happens within the media page. Okay, so that's been a look at using scene cut detection within Resolve. I hope it's been useful. If you're interested in seeing more tutorial content for Resolve, definitely check out my channel, and I hope to see you in the next tutorial.